Hello Simmers, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. Super happy to have you here. So sorry about my absence for, I think it's been almost 2 weeks or just over 2 weeks. I'm sorry. I was working on this build that I was so excited to do. Again, it came from Allie Rose 2020. My friend, and she sent me a bunch, and as soon as I saw this house, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do that one next. And then I had my heart set on it, and I cannot tell you how many times I lost it. I don't know, the first time I lost interest, I was struggling with the roof line. And then the colors, I really wanted to use a green, and it was just not, it just wasn't working for me. I really wanted white accents on the exterior. I wanted it to look really fresh, even though I really wanted like the landscaping to look like dead and overgrown almost kind of type deal. I don't know. But I wanted the exterior of the house, like the paint and the trim and all of that, to be very clean and white. So I just didn't think it worked with the green exterior. And then also I was struggling here with the layout because I wanted the kitchen to be at like a diagonal, and it wasn't working. So anyway, I stopped, and I went to Pinterest and YouTube to get inspiration for like a New England coastal exterior, you know, like that kind. I had a specific thing in mind, and I just was not having any luck with me building it. But while I was doing that, I ended up coming across another YouTuber who had done their own version of this exact house. And at that point, I kind of almost felt defeated. Like, I had come so far, and then did I really want to finish it because somebody's already done it, and I don't know. I don't really know what I was thinking, but that's all the stuff that was kind of going on in my head. And I ended up watching her video. I don't necessarily know if that gave me any more inspiration, or if it just made me feel more defeated because her build was incredible. But obviously I kept going. I just had to stop for a little bit, and then regroup and came back. And then I don't know what else happened. I think Halloween was in there. I have 3 children. So things were kind of chaotic between pumpkin patches and apple orchards and carving pumpkins, and then trick-or-treating and Halloween parties. So trying to find time to build, and then on top of that, losing all hope in the build itself, it really got me. I'm telling you, this build, it almost did me in. But it's done, and it's beautiful, and I love it. I don't know how much I am feeling the master suite, but it's pretty. I don't necessarily know if it's my style, or if it maybe doesn't match the feel of the rest of the house. I love doing kids' rooms because it really doesn't need to kind of fit in with the rest of the house interior, because they're not the ones that, you know, bought all the stuff or designed the rest of the house, right? They get to choose their own style, so I don't have to stick to the same kind of design choices that I necessarily would for the rest of the house, for the master suite, or like for the kids' rooms that I would for the master suite. So I had no problem there. I knew exactly what I wanted for each of the kids' rooms. So this house has, oh look, this is the green. I really, really loved this, right? And I think that I'll do this color scheme on a different house. I really like all the colors. However, it wasn't for this build. It just wasn't. I wanted the white, and I did leave this all this footage in here because I think it was important to show you where I was, where I changed my mind, how much work I had done before I had really got discouraged in the build, because that happens sometimes. And to be honest, I also lost a lot of footage. I honestly could not tell you how much time, like cumulative time I spent on this build, but I am talking, I probably would have had, if I hadn't lost some of the footage, I probably would have had close to about 15 hours. Obviously that's not practical to put all of that into a speed build, but because I had lost so much, and most of that being I completely took off the entire roof, and started from scratch. So my rebuilding of the roof, gone. It was gone. A lot of the upstairs interior, gone. It was really unfortunate. I don't know. So I am using the Xbox like game bar on my computer to do the recording. And a few of my recording sessions, they're not, like, I can't open them. I don't know, something's strange. And like they show in one file as MP4 files, but then another one it shows a different type of file. I don't know what happened. I know that I could do something to fix it to get that back, but I figured I would use the footage I had because this build has already taken me so long. It's already discouraged me so much, and I just wanted to feel happy about it, so I figured I would just go ahead and make the video with what I had and not spend any more time on things that were going to upset me any more than I already was. But sorry, I just hit my knee on the desk. Sorry. But here is where the color scheme completely changed. I went with the blue because it went so well with the white. And I don't know, I really, really, really loved it. I really liked it a lot, and so I stuck with it. The roof trim was giving me a little bit of grief, but I ended up getting that fixed too. I mean, there's a lot that I overcame in this build, and you would not know if I wasn't telling you right now, but let me tell you, it was a lot. So thanks to my determination to get this build done, because I really was so in love with this house and the porch, like that side, like octagon shaped porch, and then the landscaping, and how much time I had already spent on the build. I guess it's already, when I wanted to give up, I couldn't give up because I'd already fallen in love with the house. I've already dedicated so much time. So I just reached out to my sim friends. I actually only have like one real like close sim friend, and that's Allie Rose. I don't really talk to a lot of other simmers on like a regular basis. So I ended up reaching out to her, and she gave me some words of encouragement, and I also ended up reaching out to Rachel Ped, just because, well, see, Rachel reminds me of myself. I love her. I listen to her videos and I'm like, man, she sounds like what's going on in my head. And when she talks about sometimes she gets herself into situations where her house is too big and she doesn't, I felt like she could help me, right? So I reached out to her, and she also gave me some encouraging words and some advice, and here we are. So thank you to Allie Rose 2020 and Rachel Ped. I appreciate you both so much, more than you know. I think I distracted myself with that, but that's okay because they are worthy of distraction, right? Or they're worthy of being distractions, I should say. But what I was going to say, I was going to tell you about the house. There is 5 bedrooms, and then there is 4 bathrooms. So I decorated the house in like the octagon shape part. On that side of the house, up on the second story, is the master suite. So it's all, the whole side is like basically the master suite. And then on the other side, we have a child, like a boy's room, a child boy, an older child girl. So she's not, maybe she's like a teeny bopper, maybe like 13, 14. Then I have like an older teenager, I'm thinking. I actually decorated the room like, I don't know, it's a pretty fancy room. Yeah. And then there is a nursery for a baby, and it's like it's like a blue and black and white, I think. So in my head, I decorated it for a little boy, but it can be, it's very neutral. I think it would do for any. And I've been wanting to do this. I used a sign, and like, you know how like some people put their kids' names up in their rooms, like above their crib? Anyway, I did that. So I have an accent wall. I think it was from Eco Living. It's like blue, and it kind of looks like wood, but like different colors. Like there might be like a little tan in there, some blacks. I'm not sure. I think that's what it is, and I think it's from Eco Living. Eco Lifestyle? I don't know, but it's from that expansion pack. And anyway, I used a sign and put it up there like it was the baby's name. Yeah, and I really think it's adorable. Anyway, so here I'm doing some landscaping. I just want to put this out there. I know it's still like autumn, but when I started this and the landscaping, I was in the dead of the autumnal builds, okay? And I wanted like to get that orangey brownish kind of dead look going on, because I was overgrowing this house with landscaping, because I wanted it to be slightly overgrown, just natural, just letting nature be itself, letting nature be nature, but within reason, like there's control to it. So yes, it's overgrown, but it's a pretty overgrown. And then like I said, we are in the dead of autumn, so things don't look, I still think the colors are beautiful, but there are definitely trees that have a lot more color to them. And at this point, it seems like we have entered the stage of leaving autumn. But I also want to note that along with all of my other struggles I've already mentioned with this build, my terrain paint was doing its thing where it disappears and you have to do it all again. And that was so sad. I honestly I think I might have experienced it like 1 or 2 times, but never to the extent of where I had put in so much detail, and then had to do it again. I've never had it that bad before. So here you can see that I had put in a lot of detail on the pavement for their driveway. Also, I made the driveway go to the back instead of to the front, like in the reference picture I was using. By the way, I should put that up, so you should see it right about now. This is my inspiration right here. And anyway, their driveway was like where their garage was in the front, and I'd put mine to the back only because one of the things that I was really unhappy about was the roof line. There was a part of the roof I just did not like, and in order to fix that, I moved some stuff around. I made things smaller, squished it a little bit, and then I was happy. And then I just didn't think that a garage door was it fit there, so I moved it around to the back. And I don't think it looks bad. I actually think it looks really good. But anyway, I put some detail onto the pavement so it looked like cars had driven on there, dirt was on there, oil, from cars, just different stuff. But yeah, I have to say that there ends up being a lot more terrain paint detail at the end of the build, so I'm just really grateful that I did not lose like the final because that would have been so awful. But here I am going in, and I went in at some point and put some placeholder furniture in just to kind of get like a layout base, like an idea. And now I think I thought I was going in to do it. Yeah, here I am. So I go in at this point to actually start my interior design. Something I really wish we had the option to do, and I don't know as if I'm going to do a great job explaining it. So I like arches, right? But I want to be able to make a custom arch of some sort. And I find myself using tulle a lot for that. And I'll leave the frames there so that, because once something is too minuscule to click on again in tulle, there's no going back. So I put it to a small bit, and then once I'm at my final stage and I have everything the way I want and there's no going back, I scale that thing so small that you cannot see it at all. So that's why you're gonna see, sometimes you'll see, like, I think there's a desk at some point that you're gonna see that's not sized down all the way, a dishwasher maybe at some point, and then these archways that lead into the dining room. But anyway, that's what that's about. Okay, so I want the ability to, and I don't know how I want it to work, but I want the ability to do like a half wall but from the top and select the size, right? And if we could get some columns that are not columns, but they're like horizontal type pieces where we can extend them like we can the columns up and down, but side to side instead, that would be phenomenal. I would love that. So half walls from the top, horizontal type deal columns that you can adjust like the vertical columns, and I would be a happy camper. But I really can't ask for too much because we've gotten so much this year and I'm so grateful for that. But I just realized it's really ironic that one of the first rooms that I wanted to go to was the master suite, because I have to say that it was a big part of like my idea. I knew exactly, I think maybe that's why I struggled so much with it, is because I knew exactly how I wanted to lay it out and I couldn't get it. And then I couldn't get the color scheme the way I wanted it, because for the green that I wanted in there, because I was going for like coastally like colors, but I felt like I had enough blues, but I also needed to incorporate the blue in there, right? Because the blue is everywhere in the house, downstairs, outside, everywhere. So I wanted to incorporate like a sandy color with like a really light green color, with a coastally blue color. And I found a bed that I really wanted, but then I wasn't sure if like the blue and the green went. I don't know, I struggled, and I had already had the idea for the bathroom, and I didn't have blue or green. I don't know what, I had one color in there with like a tan for like the sand bits, you know, the colors that I was pulling from like the idea of sand, but my goodness, I had a lot of stuff going on inside my head. Yeah, it was a lot, this build, my goodness. Yeah, I bopped around a lot. I really didn't bop around that much. Maybe I did. Who am I trying to kid here? I was bopping around, but I feel like it looks more chaotic than it actually was because there was a lot of sessions involved and there's a lot of footage involved and a lot of footage that got lost, and I was trying to piece it back together. I don't know. But I need to think positively. This house is incredible. It has had a lot of success so far on the gallery. By the way, it is on the gallery already. I did upload it as soon as I knew I was done because I needed to share it as soon as possible to get some sort of feeling of accomplishment out of the build, because I knew it was going to be a little bit before I got my video editing done. Although I did anticipate getting the video up on Sunday, it did not happen. I don't recall what all went on this weekend, but I feel like I had a pretty busy weekend. Yeah, I think I had a birthday party. My son's birthday was on Saturday, but we just had like a small little family gathering, like for dinner and cake, but we had a lot of stuff going on during the day, and I'm trying to remember what the heck that all was about. Oh well, it's not important. But anyway, I'm doing the entryway again, or still. I put a lot of clutter in the house, but I also feel like the house still looks really like clean. There is a lot of emphasis on kids in this house, but clean, right? So I feel like these kids are very tidy and responsible. Maybe not the little boy sim or like the infant, because they're not there yet, but the daughter, like the preteen daughter that I was explaining earlier, her room is very precise, very neat, very tidy, very proper. There's not very much stuff in there. I think there might be like a toy or two kind of hidden. So like it's there, but it's kind of shoved under the bed a little bit so you can still kind of see it, to where she loves her toy, a couple of her toys still, but she's feeling like she's outgrowing them, but she's not ready to give them up, right? So they're hidden, but they're still there. But then she has like awards on her vanity, and I feel like she's definitely at an in-between stage, but she's very, I don't even know what the word preppy, maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Just really good, really smart. Yeah, a good example for other sim children. Yeah, so that was my idea for her. Oh, here, I love this. I made a coffee bar in their house and I loved it. The only thing that I kind of struggled with was the sign that I used for the coffee bar is actually the same sign I used for the kids' bedroom. So unless they name their kid after like the coffee brand, or unless they named their kid Coffee, I don't know. You could just pretend that it's not the same, because I really liked the writing. I tried to change the two, like pick a different one for the coffee bar or pick a different one for the nursery, and I was like, nope, I like this one, it fits for both, and that's what I want to keep, so I did. Oh yes, I also included furniture for a cat and a dog in this house, along with a pet door, so your pets, your cats and your dogs have the ability to use the door off the laundry room. Oh yes, I don't think I told you that there was a laundry room. There is a garage, or aka man cave. And what else do I have? There's a playroom off of the living room for the children to play in. Going from the kitchen to the living room, there is, I don't know, a hallway. I don't think it's a hallway because it's quite large. I have a piano in there, and I ended up using the tool mod and then the new cookbook from the stuff pack that we got, the Home Chef Hustle. And I picked a swatch that didn't really look like food, and I elevated it and then merged it into the piano to make it look like it was a holder, like for sheet music. And then I took, I think it was like the violin or the guitar, I'm not sure which book, to like gain skill points. And I turned it around, so I flipped it 180 degrees, just because I liked the design on the back of the book, like all the sides of the books, and it's just musical notes. So that's on the piano too. I love it. I think it looks so cute. I really, really liked it. It looks super cute. I was struggling here because I wanted to go for like kind of coastal, like classy coastal, but then I also kind of wanted to go for like cottagey coastal, I don't know. So, but I think I ended up going more with like a classic coastal, or like a formal coastal kind of vibe in here, or like a formal plus kid vibe. I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah. So this is the living room. I really ended up liking this room. After I got the floor plan done, I got it all planned out. I was like, oh, I really like this, but then things just weren't, I just wasn't liking it then. And even then, after just rearranging some furniture and like putting a door in, I think I put like a hallway door on the other side, it just worked. It vibed. It was super cute. So back in the back, right now, there's like a hallway that's not really furnished or painted or anything. That's gonna be a hallway that leads to the garage, and then the bathroom just off of the garage. And it wasn't a hallway at that point. Like, I just had it open. But I ended up utilizing it. Like, I feel like the space is really nice. So it's definitely like just a transition space. But it's used. So because the bathroom's right there, right out of the bathroom door, I have a changing table. Then there's some decorations. And then I used that space to create an archway into the living room because that space was kind of dead over there. It just looked, I don't know, it looked like it was missing something, but I didn't want to shove the furniture over there, like the couches, because then it would be off center. So I utilized that empty space in the hallway and the living room to create that archway as another access point to the living room. And then I also placed in a door to the bathroom, so you can get to the bathroom from either the living room or that hallway just off the garage. Like I said, it's right, like I ended up putting the changing table right outside of that bathroom, so for easy access, in case whoever needs to change the baby's diaper, they can do it from downstairs, or they can do it upstairs if they're upstairs with the baby in the nursery, but they have access to a changing table on both levels of the house. The kitchen was a very odd shape, but it needed to be there because that was the center, and I didn't want to shove everything over because then the kitchen would be way too small, and I did not want it to go into the dining room. I wanted that whole section to be the dining room, so I needed to work with what I had, the space that I had. So we went with it. That's why there's a coffee bar. That is why there's a nice big island. I don't know, it's really big, and I don't necessarily know if I would have chosen this layout of a kitchen. However, I think it really works with the house. I really like it. It looks really good. Oh yes, there's also an office. So just off of the entryway to the right is the office. And then to the left, you go upstairs. So downstairs we have an office, a bathroom, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, a dining room, a playroom, a living room, a garage, and I think that's it. And then upstairs we have the 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and then just a really large open area that is like the landing when you go up the stairs. Yeah, that's how the layout works. I feel like everything is, even though it's kind of got a nicer vibe, nicer feel, I feel like everything is also really homey. So I think even though I kept trying to go to that cottagey feel, I think I was just trying to go there because I wanted the comfort of a cottage, but I feel like I was able to accomplish that without the cottage look. So I was really happy about that, and I really ended up liking a lot of the colors that I used in this build. I liked the way they mashed together. Like don't get me wrong, I used a lot of blues and a lot of tans and whites, but I think I used, like, for example, like that yellow in that basket. It really, I don't know, I think it looks really cute. That's okay if you don't, but I do, and if you don't like it, you can choose another swatch, or you can delete it altogether. I think I should point out, I don't have a storyline or like an idea of the mom and dad. I really never do. I know that sounds so bad, but in this instance, I actually kind of had an idea for the dad. Not so much for the mom, but for the dad. I kind of thought that he was, the reason why his like preteen daughter was the way she was is because of the dad. I feel like she really looks up to her dad. And her dad is like super accomplished. So in I designed the office for him so he could have his own space. I really was thinking about the dad a lot in this build, I guess, because he has his own office, and he also has his own man cave in the garage, because during this build, during one of my sessions of loathing the build, I thought about my Pepper's Pub build that I did. So I built a bookstore that was attached to Pepper's Pub, and I just gave Pepper's Pub my own. I demolished it and rebuilt everything from scratch, and so one side was Pepper's Pub and the other side was Vern's bookstore, and Vern lived above his bookstore in an apartment. And Vern doesn't have a lot of money, and he just has a lot of old furniture. And while I was doing that build, I mentioned in the voiceover that I was originally going to use the old TV. I think it came from the Basement Treasure kit. But I wanted to try to merge in another TV into that TV to see if I could get a functional old school looking TV just to like kind of fit an old person's house. Something different than just like the tabletop TV with like the antenna, because I really feel like that floor box, the console TV, really tells a story about a certain period of time, and it would be really fitting for like elderly Sims or even secondhand furniture, right? So I tried it, it worked, and then I just moved it to the garage. I was like, we're fitting this in somewhere, and that is how the man cave came about. Here we're doing the office, and so I'm putting up all of his awards, his diplomas, and then I also have I put up, in my head I was thinking business cards and stuff. I don't know what he does, but I'm thinking he's a pretty good businessman of some sort because he's pretty smart and he's accomplished with all these awards. He also is really good at bowling because, he has a bowling trophy in the living room. So yeah, I wanted it to look manly in here, but then again, still carry through the feel that the wife might have had a lot to do with the interior decorating in the house. So I left the garage to be like the man cave, like the manly area. So There's some cans next to his old recliner right in front of his old school console TV, right? So I feel like it pulled in that masculine vibe that I was trying to accomplish there. So yeah, I think that's what I did. Oh, this is the teenager's bedroom, the fancy one that I was telling you about. I feel like she's probably either on her way to college or she's just graduated high school, or maybe she's even in college and she just comes home every once in a while, because her room is very neat. But it's also fitting that it's neat, because I don't think you'd put this much effort into your room if you weren't going to keep it clean. But I used a lot of, I used Modern Luxe, Get Famous, and shoot, there's another one, Vintage Glamour in here, I think. And I think I used the stand-up light. I think it's from Seasons, but I could be wrong. High School Years, even? I thought that I used more of like a limited amount of content in this particular room, but I don't think I did. I think it was a combination of Vintage Glamour, maybe High School Years, Seasons, Modern Luxe, and Get Famous. Yeah, but I think it really turned out really elegant and very glamorous, and I really liked it. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily my vibe. I mean, I think it's a little bit too glamorous for me, but I wouldn't say no to it. I really like it. I really like the colors, like the teal kind of colors. Some of the teals are a little bit different. Oh, I also, because I really wanted, there's a desk that I put in here, and I ended up turning it into a vanity. And I really wanted to use it, but because I wanted to turn it in, it's a non-functional vanity. It doesn't work because it's not a vanity. I just didn't think that the vanities that we have gotten in any pack really fit what I wanted, so I made my own. I used a desk, and then I think, do not quote me please, because I could be very wrong, but I think the mirror is from Seasons or Base Game. I don't know. I should really find stuff out before I start talking. But I merged that mirror into the desk, and made it look like a vanity. I think I was trying to do like some type of canopy thing here, and it just was not. I just ended up not liking it. And then I was struggling here also because I wanted to, I don't know exactly what I was gonna do over there, but so yes, I wanted this desk, but I did not want the details on the desk, because I thought it was too childlike for what I had in mind for her. Her room is very glamorous and very put together, and I just didn't want that. But then I was struggling with the mirror showing in the back, so I was trying to find, at this point I think I'm trying to find some stuff that I can use like on the bottom to like cover that. I probably should have cut this out of the video because there's a lot of me searching the catalog. I think at some point there was an update in here, and then my tool mod was funky and my Better Build Buy was funky, but I worked through it at the end, because at a certain point I was just ready. I just was going. I was like, I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to finish. So I kind of left those there because I don't even know what they are. What are they? They're like those black design things. Like they can go on a wall. They're not what I wanted, but I felt like I didn't want to lose them because I was looking for something else and I couldn't find it. So if I couldn't find the other thing, I was just going to use those. But I ended up finding it. It was the vents I was looking for. I don't know why I just didn't search for them, but I ended up searching for them and finding them rather quickly. And then I did what I did, and there's my vanity. It's beautiful. I love it. I also gave her a little seating area with a TV over here, and then I put that lamp I was talking about in the corner right by the chair. I also think I give her like a dresser on the other side of the room. It's black and teal also. I think it is a little bit off color, like off the teal color. It's a little bit brighter, but it's fine. It totally works. It's awesome. I love it. I end up getting rid of the vanity at that point. There's the dresser. I think the inspiration for this build came from the stand-up mirror. I love it. I want to use it all the time. The colors are very intense. I think there might be a black swatch and maybe a cream. There might even be a brown. I don't really remember. But a lot of there are very intense colors swatches, and those are what draw me. I don't know, something about the intensity of the color with the design. It's beautiful. The mirror is gorgeous. So it does inspire a lot of my rooms for teenagers. I think I have a build on my gallery. There's no video of it because I was not making content at that time, but it was like a colonial type build, a colonial type house. And the storyline for that family, well, really, I didn't really have too much story for the whole family. I just had a storyline for the teenage daughter. So she made the garage into her bedroom. So she converted the garage into her bedroom, and there was like a small cellar or crawl space type deal in the garage, or underneath the garage. And through her exploring, I guess, at some point as a child growing up, she found out that this crawl space or cellar ended up going into a much larger basement. So she decided she was going to convert the garage into her bedroom, and she aspired to become a spellcaster. So she has like a secret lair in the basement. So anyway, the mirror inspired all of that. I don't know how. It started off with the purple mirror swatch, and then I think it might be from high school years, but I could be way off. There's a bed. It kind of looks hippie. I don't know. There's a sun on it. There's a lot of like, I don't even know how to explain it. I feel like it would have fit very well within a certain time period. And I don't want to describe it really wrong and sound really silly, but it gave me witchy vibes. The purples, the blacks, all in there. I went with it, and it was fabulous. I love the storyline. I played with the family for a while. She became a spellcaster. Oh, and the mom in that build had a secret garden. Air quotes. I'm doing air quotes. That was one of the first builds that I put a lot of landscaping in. It was so pretty. You should check it out. It's not the best build. Do not get me wrong, but there's elements in there that were key shifting points in my building. Because there was really amateur type builds, and then it slowly progressed, it's changed, and even within a really short period of time, it's gotten a lot different because I've learned things that I had no idea existed until watching speed builds that I had no idea even existed until I just so happened to stumble across one of Jessica Pye's, and I fell in love with her, and then I fell in love with so many other creators. Yeah, I'm really grateful for them because I love The Sims. I've always loved The Sims. I love to build. That's like been my main focus ever in The Sims. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that. I love it. Yeah. Okay guys, unfortunately, I think we are coming to the end of the footage that I have to share with you. However, I do include screenshots of all of the rooms, including the ones that I did not have footage to share. And then also this build is already uploaded, like I said, to the gallery. My gallery ID is Bubblini911. I appreciate you guys all so much, and I hope you come back for another Sims 4 speed building video. Bye guys!